What's going on? So there are three things that you got to realize in order to wholesale a property. And in this video, I'm going to explain those things today. So before we get into it, hit the subscribe button to get wonderful content just like this. So I know you're probably thinking it's a lot of information when it comes to wholesaling a property, but the idea of it is really simple and easy to do. The first thing you got to realize is that there is a set formula to how it's done. If you think you can just randomly call a bunch of real estate brokers or real estate investors and also go online, whether it's Craigslist or Zillow or Redfin, and figure out how it works, you're going to be sadly mistaken. So the first thing to know is that there is a set formula to buying wholesale properties. And it's also a set formula to selling the contract you get from the seller. So let me explain this formula right now. The formula is this: understanding that all properties must be sold whereby the buyer has profit in the deal. So you're just not going out there getting any deal and negotiating with the seller to sell the house. The property itself has to have profit in the deal once you have the contract with the seller. Because when you have this contract, you're going to have to sell this to the buyer, so therefore you can get paid. And if that property doesn't have profit in the deal, the buyer is not going to buy the contract from you. So that's the key component there, is that when you are negotiating with the seller, the first thing you got to realize is what is the comparables of the house when it is fully renovated, right? Obviously, as you must know, because you're in this video, is that any house that needs to be wholesale probably needs some work, okay? Nobody is going to sell their house fully renovated at a discount. So the seller knows that the house needs some work. So now that you know that does the seller know that the house needs some work, that's your negotiating tactic with the seller. You say, look, this house needs some work. I can sell it to an investor, and also they'll be able to close this deal in 30 days or less. Okay, so now, what is it that you got to do to know whether or not this house has profit or not? Well, you got to look at the comparables. The comparables is key. It's called a comp analysis or comparable analysis. And how you do this, you look at every single home that's sold within the last 6 months that has similar characteristics to the house you're interested in. So what does this mean? I mean, if your house has a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, you try to look at all the homes in the area that got 3 beds, 2 baths. If your house has a garage as well, you look at all homes that have a 3-bed, 2-bath, and 1 garage. Okay. And you're looking at the comparables of also the square footage of the house. If you're trying to have or identify homes that have the same square footage of the house that you're interested in. So if your house is 1,000 square feet, you're looking for homes that's close to 1,000 square feet. And then you're looking to see how many homes sold and also at what price they sold at. So if they sold at $100,000 on average, some sold at $130,000, some sold at $80,000, some sold at $110,000. But on average, it's $100,000. Okay, so now you know the comparable analysis, right? The comp analysis on this home is $100,000. You know that because of the research that you did. And you do this research simply just by going on Zillow. Just go on Zillow. They'll tell you all the homes that sold in that neighborhood in the last 6 months, okay? Or go on Redfin. Put in the filters, figure out all homes that sold. You can easily figure that out, what homes sold, and then they give you a time frame. 6 months. In the last 6 months, all those homes will pop up. And you're looking for homes that were recently renovated or they just were new. These are the type of homes you have to look at for your comp analysis. Now, on top of that, once you have the figure, which is in this case $100,000, you're in a good spot. So you take that $100,000 and then what do you do with that? You understand that in your mind. So then you go back to the seller and you say, look, hey seller, I understand that you're trying to sell your house, and you say that you want $150,000 for your house. But based on the comparables that I see in the neighborhood, I see that your homes are selling for $100,000. Okay, $100,000. The sellers say, well, I don't believe that to be the case. Then you come out with your comparables and say, look, your home fully renovated costs $100,000. So now you got to go back and also tell the seller, look, your home is worth $100,000, but you know, I am a wholesaler. So I'm going to sell your house to an investor. That's where I can help you at. I can sell your house in 2 weeks. And then the seller's going to say, well, I want 100. The seller may think about it, or whatever. And then once the seller understands that concept, you got to tell the seller, look, your house needs work. It needs about $20,000 of work, and the investor has to make a profit of at least 20%. Right? So now the offer that we're going to submit on your house is $60,000. Now, the seller may not want to hear that, but that is the truth, and no other buyer is going to pay her $100,000 when the market value of the house is $100,000 and it needs work of $20,000. Right? So you know, and the overarching point is that all banks follow the same formula. So the formula that the formula that the investor you're going to give the contract to or sell the contract to, he knows that. Unless he's buying it all cash. I mean, for a small deal like this, he may buy it all cash, which is fine. But for larger transactions, he may not want to put up all his cash in a deal like that. He's going to go to a hard money bank or a lender. And the lender is going to have the same formula. They're going to go out there. They're going to send an appraisal to the house. The appraiser is going to say it's worth $100,000. You already know it's worth $100,000. They're going to also, and then the hard money lender is going to say, well, I can loan no more than 80% of the after repair value. 80% of the after repair value. That's what the bank is going to tell you. So 80% of the after repair value is what? $80,000. But your job is to make sure that you secure the profit for the buyer as the wholesaler. So you're going to tell the seller, look, you know, this deal, I can give you an offer at $60,000 to secure the money for the rehab. So just keep that in mind. I got more videos just like this. Until the next time, take care of yourself now.